and also middle class. Middle class intelligentsia also came into existence in this particular point of time. That is second phase. In third phase, if you come to the third phase, the third phase of the national movement covered the period from 1905 to 1918. During this phase, the Indian national movement became militant, extremist, militant, and challenging and acquiring a wider social basis by the inclusion of section of the lower middle class. And lower middle class came to appear in this phase, in this third phase. We can't find lower middle class in the previous phase, previous stage. We can't find it. Here we can see the role of lower middle class in the third phase. So in the fourth phase, which began from 1918 and continued till the end of the civil disobedience movement in 1934, according to him, according to A.R. Desai. So this phase continued till the end of the civil disobedience movement in 1934. The social base of the national movement was enormously enlarged. Hereafter, the social base of the national movement was enormously enlarged. And next, the fifth phase. And this phase from 1934 to 1939. And this phase was characterized by growing disenchantment with the Gandhian ideology with the Congress. And further, the rise of the socialists who represented the petty bourgeois element. Outside the Congress, various movements were taking place hereafter. The peasants, the workers, the depressed classes, and various linguistic nationalities started agitation for their demands. Agitation for their demands. The peasants, the workers, the depressed class, and various linguistic nationalities started agitations for their demands. These are the bases has been put forward by A.R. Desai. Okay, next I would like to bring the interesting thing is that the paradigm shift. In history, the academician regularly used to talk about the paradigm shift. Paradigm shift. What is paradigm shift in historical context? So paradigm shift we can see in Indian historiography, especially in Indian Marxist historiography. This shift, this revolutionary shift, this paradigm shift, firstly noticed by Romila Thapar. Romila Thapar credits D.D. Kosambi for effecting a paradigm shift in Indian studies. He noticed that. D.D. Kosambi for effecting a paradigm shift in Indian studies. According to her, such paradigm change had occurred only twice before in Indian historiography. Only twice. The revolutionary shift, the paradigm shift occurred in Indian historiography, in Indian history, history of Indian historiography. It occurred twice, and these were done by James Mill and Vincent Smith. How they shifted, how they done this. James Mill, whose book History of India set the major parameters for historical writing on India, towards the Indian society. And he considered the pre-colonial Indian civilization as backward. We already discussed the same point in the previous classes. And pre-colonial Indian civilization as backward, superstitious, stagnant, and lacking something. In most respected as a civilization, what they considered as civilized, what they considered, what the colonial historians considered, what the company considered, what the colonial administrator considered. He was an unabashed the admirer of the British achievements in India and a relentless critic of pre-British Indian society and polity. He divided the Indian history into three parts: the Hindu, Muslim, and the British. And this division, according to him, was essential to demarcate three different civilizations. That is the stopping. Folder open. Okay, continue, sir. Continue.
Okay.
Continue. Yeah?
Okay.
That is the shift. That is the shift actually, according to Romila Thapar. And the second paradigm shift is the belong to the Vincent Smith. And his work, The Oxford History of India, provided another break in Indian historiography, as it avoided the sharp value judgment reference to the pre-British period of Indian history, which contained in Mill's book, James Mill's work. He instead tried to present a chronological account of Indian history and focused on the rise and fall of dynasty. That is a mistake. What he did, and he presented a chronological account of Indian history and focused on the rise and fall of the dynasty. Now, that is a mistake done by him, according to Romila Thapar. So the revolutionary paradigm we can see in the context of D.D. Kosambi also. In the narration of D.D. Kosambi. D.D. Kosambi viewed history completely different. Now here is the paradigm shift. Okay. For him, for whom? I am asking to you. For whom? For Kosambi. For Kosambi. For whom? For Kosambi. For him, James Mill's religious periodization. This is a very important point, my dear students. You must note it. For Kosambi, James Mill's religious periodization. What is James Mill's periodization? That is a Hindu, Muslim, and British period. That is the religious periodization of James Mill. And Vincent Order Smith's chronological account of dynasty. What is chronological account of dynasty? What he made it? He focused only the rise and fall of the dynasty only. And he never come across beyond that. So here, Kosambi, for him, means religion and put some new ideas in order to make it happen in the context of Indian historiography. He considered instead the blind